I'm Count Craftober. Hello there, boils and goyles. It's great to have you aboard once again for another Craftober Creepy Classic. Tonight, we've got an experience that will, well, as my mummy used to say, turn you into a stiff. What's making me so itchy? It's our feature tonight, the night of the Blight Tree.
Well, thank you, Count, for that introduction. Now we are going to craft a Blight Tree. Now, the cool thing about this craft is we're taking a Groot toy. I got this toy at Five Below, and we're crafting it into something different. And now, if you can't find this toy or whatever, you can always use these techniques on another toy. It's more of a general idea kind of thing where you can take a toy and convert it to something. You can take it and convert it to something else. So that's kind of the fun part of this project. So hopefully you can find this Groot toy. If you can't, find another toy and craft it into a devilish monster for Craftober. So there we go. Let's hit the table and craft this Blight Tree. Hey crafters, here we go. This Guardian of the Galaxy Groot. Okay, he's got a special action, which I don't really want, but we can fix that. So I got this at Five Below for $5. You can also find it on Amazon. See how that special action goes? I don't want that. So I'm going to start adding some hot glue to the joints to kind of blend them in to the rest of the model itself, right? I got kind of a pose I wanted with the arms, and now I'm going to kind of anchor them in place with the glue. And you want to kind of blend the glue in so it looks like part of the tree itself. So, you know, that metal nozzle, my favorite glue gun there, that really helps do this. There we go. Just blend it right in. I'm going to cover those screw holes up too. All right. Now I got this Pussy Willow at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, and I really like how it has these branch-like things on it, right? I just pull the willow part off, and I got a really great looking branch. Also, I want to do some tendrils on this thing, and I just make tendrils in my spare time. As you can see, I just coil up toilet paper and paper towels and use my 50 white glue method, 50 water, 50 white glue, and just put them in different shapes and let them dry, and then I have them when I'm ready for projects. So here I've cut some and I've got them ready. I thought it'd be fun to have a giant tendril kind of coming out of his head as he has that hole in his head. Then I'll have one coming out of his torso, out of his knee. Kind of blend that in. I'm going to got to strengthen that tendril there, put some hot glue on it, smear it into the tendril itself. And looks a little goofy now, but believe me, it'll be pretty darn cool when we get this done. Okay, now I'm going to make a mouth. So I'm kind of doing a glob of hot glue and then pushing a hole into it with the tip of the hot glue gun. Hope you can see that there. So the purpose of that was I wanted to have a hole so I can put that tendril coming out of his mouth. Yeah, cool. Looking good. Looking pretty nasty. Don't want to meet this guy in a dark wood. No siree. Fill in those tendrils there. Don't cover up the detail on the model, of course. Don't get too crazy with it. All right, cool. Now I'm going to start sticking these branches on. And I'm just going to use my glue gun, put a glob on there, hold it for a few seconds, then blend it into the model. Really easy to do with those metal-tipped glue guns there. Hold that for a second. It's a little longer one there. Blend it in. Wow, that's really adding to the model. Look at that. Really cool. Really sweet. All right, nice. Now I'm going to cut some pieces off and add them to the hands. Like the outside of the hand, or the back of the hand, I should say. Neat. just junk materials. And we're going to end up with a really cool model here. Look at that. Sweet. All right, cool. I'm going to put one last one on there. Let it harden up. Hot glue harden up there. So cool. Guy's looking creepy already. All right, to add some extra creepy to this guy, we're going to use these skull beads, and you can find these at just about any craft store. And the places where the pussy willows were, I'm going to pop the skulls onto. They have these little nubs there that I pulled them off on. I'll hot glue those on. All right, looking creepy. Gonna fill the top in a little bit. All right, now I put the rest on. Now I'm going to use this crackle paste, okay? And the effect I'm going for is I'm going to put it around, kind of like lesions around the tentacles and stuff. And I'm kind of hoping it'll crackle up and give like a kind of nice, gnarly look. So we've added some more to it. I'm adding some extra. You can see I really put it on heavy around the tentacles, or the tendrils. Just add some extra on the beast itself. And the thicker it is, the better it crackles, I guess. So I'm trying to put it on pretty thick here. All right, cool. Now we'll let that dry. Now it's all dried up. It is a little weaker than the modeling paste, so I'm going to put some white glue on it. And I figure this would kind of help adhere it to the surface as well as kind of toughen it up. So I'm just going to paint that on with a wet brush. There we go. Now I'm going to use this disc I got at the craft store. You could use anything, a cardboard base or anything you wanted, but I'm going to use this wooden disc and just glue them to the base. Just use my E6000, put it right on the feet there, and glue them right on. Cool. Let them dry up. Then I'm going to fill that base in with my hot glue gun. And I could have used the hot glue gun on the beastie itself instead of the crackle paste if I wanted. So that's what the great thing about crafts is. You can use all kinds of different techniques, whatever you have available. Don't feel constrained by if you don't have something. Just improvise and use something else, right? All right, filling that in. Looking good. We're trying to make it look like ground, so you want it rough. Drag that metal nozzle through the glue. Now I got this HeroClix skeleton. I'm going to use them because I want to do some skeletal remains on the base. I thought it'd be a nice accent, right? So I kind of cut him off a bit. And here's a dinosaur. I'm going to cut its crest off. And then kind of cut the legs so I can kind of bend them up so they're not just sticking up in the air. They can lay down on the base. There we go. And then I'm going to take that tail off because I want it to look more like an animal, you know, a horse or something, or a cow, as opposed to, you know, a dinosaur. Now I'll just glue the dude on there, Mr. Skeleton, and glue the dinosaur on there. Stand in for the animal, put the head there, and then kind of fill it in around the edges, blend it into the base. Not only that, it gives it a nice adhesion. I'm also going to put a little bit on the model. Not too much. You don't want to cover up all that nice skeletal detail. Just put a little bit around it and on it. There we go. Nice. That'll be really nice and creepy once we get it painted up. Very, very cool. Yeah. All right, now I'm going to add my construction sand to the mix. I'm going to put some around the bodies. Not covering the whole base with it, just areas. Spread it out with a toothpick if you need to. Some tight areas there. Let's put it in a plate so I don't make a mess. Just pour it right on there. Then we'll let that dry up. All right, it's all dried up. We black bombed it with our flat black spray paint. And we are ready to paint this buddy up. Now look at that. I really like you can see the detail on there with that, just, you know, the homogeneous look. You know, before it just looked like a mess, just a bunch of crap glued together. But now you can see that it's really starting to come together as the whole, right? This is the really exciting part. I love this part. So now I'm painting the base, or I'm going to paint the whole thing with this burnt umber. So I'm just using a wide brush. Fairly wet. There we go. All painted up. Now I'm going to use these different colors. I've got burnt umber, I've got tan, and I've got a Mississippi mud, right? And I really like the kind of sickly look of the Mississippi mud. I'm going to use the burnt umber because I'm really going for a red on these tendrils, and you'll see later on this will kind of accent that, I think, the burnt sienna. So dry brush that on there. Now I'm using the Mississippi mud for another darker, or another highlight on that. That kind of like that sickly color, or that old wood color. Don't neglect the branches, the skull tip branches, the arms. Nice. We'll do the other side too. All right, now I'm going to use the lighter tan as the final highlight. And just kind of brush it on a bit. Really pops that detail out. Look at that. Really, really nice. All right, super cool. Now I'm going to use a nutmeg brown for the base because I want a different color brown on the dirt base, right? I don't want to make it the same brown. So I'll just kind of dry brush that on there. Easy peasy. All right, cool. Now I'm going to use this off-white, and I'm going to paint the skeletons with it. So I'm using a much smaller brush here. And I'm just going to kind of dry brush the bone areas, because you want all that detail to pop out. You don't want to glop it on. It's one big white blob. You want to see the areas between the bones, right? You want to see the ribs and the individual bones. So don't get too crazy with putting it on too much. Just put enough so you can get that detail. Ah, nice. Really popping out. All right, now I'm going to use a little bit on the eyes because I want to paint them red, but the red won't show up without a lighter color underneath, so I'm just going to use that off-white for that. Now here's where it really gets gross and nice. I've got a cherry red and a bright red, okay? And these are going to be the tendrils, so I'll start painting these tendrils. And I love that nasty color. So great. Those really stand out. Really gives it a creepy look. Now here's where the magic happens. I'm going to start using the bright red on top of it. And I'm loading it quite a bit into the brush. But I'm doing it while it's wet, so it kind of blends in to the cherry red. And it gives a really nice kind of effect. Look at that. Really cool. So it really looks like a bloody tendril. Really nice. Yeah, like it. Look at that. So cool. Don't want to see this thing coming at me. All right, now I'm going to paint the eyes over the white. You'll be able to see the eyes a little better. And now I'm going to do on top of the skulls. Kind of like blood's oozing out of the top of the skulls. That's why I kind of drug the glue gun on the top there of the skulls when I applied them. Nice. I'm going to use gunmetal. There's a little bit of armor and a shield with this dead warrior here, so I'm going to apply that on there. Very cool. Get the other side of the shield. Good to go. Now I'm going to use a golden brown, and I really like this to use this for like aging bones. And it's really wet, and I'm going to put it on the bones and see how that just really gives them a nice age there. I like that. Very cool. Sweet. All right, now I'm going to use some watered down black and do a little bit around the eyes to kind of accentuate the red eyes so they pop out better. And then I'll go around the mouth and the other areas where the tendrils are popping out. Sweet. And I'm going to do the eyes for the skulls. Cool. I'll do at the top around the big tendril there at the top. Nice. Very cool. A little bit on the figures down on the ground here. Nice. Now I'm going to use this water base gloss and put it on the tendrils because I want them to look all slimy and red. Just wet and oozing. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Put a little bit on the top of the skulls there. The gore that's oozing out of the skulls. Wow. Okay, here's another cool thing I'm going to do. I'm going to use these tufts that I got from Brad Smith. He sent them to me. He made these. These are kind of, the first one's this kind of a sickly, kind of red and brown tuft. And I'm going to put that on the ground. And then I'm going to start putting these red ones actually on the guy. So look at that. Really cool. It's a really cool effect. It's like he's got this blood red fungus, you know, growing on him. So cool. I guess you can tell I like this guy, huh? All right, fill out the base some more. Put some more on him. Wow, so cool. So we're just about done here. So let's hit the table and take a closer look at this blight tree. Oh, so cool. Our first craft of Craftober. So happy with it. One last one. Nice. So cool. Oh, Hildy, my dear, let's rest by this tree. Oh, I don't like it here, Roddy. It's really, really scary. Oh, boy. Look out, guys. Oh, look how sweet that thing is. I'm telling you. Let's take a closer look at it. Wow, look at those bloody red tendrils. So great. That fungus moss, the tufts I put on the guy really look cool. That blood moss. I love the skulls on the branches. Really nice effect. Now I'm kind of disappointed with the texture. It didn't really crackle like I was hoping. I think you need a thicker application, but it did give a nice kind of bark-like texture. But if you had to, you could use a glue gun or anything else. The skulls look great on the branches there. That kind of scything branch on the back of the hands. Just some really creepy aspects of skeletons on the base. Some really creepy aspects to this guy. And I think overall it was a pretty good success. So there we go. I hope to see you guys next time for our next Craftober craft. Yeah, have fun, guys.
If you like today's creepy Craftober classic, wait till you see our next feature. It's called Skullface. Say hello to my little bony friend.